Hello, my name is Colin Leahy, and today I will be presenting my sales manager project for my Marketing 420 class. So, in this class, we were tasked with managing and helping students fundraise for a Trailblazer foundation where they basically were sending special needs scouts to this once in a lifetime camp that they were not going to be able to afford without our fundraising. Now, the manager that also helped me out during this was Ethan Byrne, our two sales students that we ended up having to help out, and we were also in the 321, so we also fundraised as much as we could. Our students were Nikina Croak and Addison Brendan. Now, the quota was 350 per student, and that included me and Ethan as well. And the overall team goal was $700. Now, me and Ethan's leadership roles here were to coach, train, and track the performance of every of the students throughout the semester to make sure that we hit this quota and it made sure it all went smoothly throughout the semester. So here we actually have the quota performance and how we ended up doing. We actually ended up beating out the $700 goal, raising $1,175 with each member contributing, and both of the people that we had mentored and taught through had completely passed through the goal that we were hoping that they would, which was huge and very big for us as managers. So, how did we manage and how did we get this done and how did we best influence this so we could actually get the quota? Well, we used the many different tools and things that we were given throughout the semester through our professor, Mr. Rauer. We used things like the Zoom info list, which made it exponentially easier through actually giving us contacts that would be more willing to accept cold calls and wouldn't just turn us away in our face. We also were taught how to use our confidence and tone through books such as How to Influence Friends, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and the book that he had written and given to us. We also learned different things such as scripting our calls so we knew what we were going to say beforehand. We also learned, though, even though you script these calls, you shouldn't say it word for word and sound like a robot. You want to try to sound fluent, you want to try to sound normal and not like you're just reading right off a script. He also taught us things as making sure we scheduled callbacks with our students so that we could talk about the things that they might need to improve on and they might need to do. We also talked about how when you win or if you lose, regardless, you should be trying to be positive in a mindset. You don't want to be negative and be like you should be doing this, you aren't doing this, because that'll just make people not want to do it. They'll want to do it less if you're just like that. And another big thing that we all had to trump over was cold calls. How cold calling can be very harsh and very rejectful, and you have to kind of push through this rejection and continue to fight in order to get the results you want and earn the money that we needed for this fundraiser. Of course, this fundraiser was much easier than other things because it kind of sells itself with the whole idea, but there definitely were signs and times where rejection did happen. So some other ways that we helped out using the class concepts and stuff was doing our weekly progress check-ins where we would have them fill out the Google sheet to better understand what they were going through and how far along they were on their journey. We also tried to schedule different calling blocks where we would all cold call together and try to communicate and talk about the different struggles that we were having. I think a big part of it too was being very just honest and open with each other and kind of not just lying. And if we weren't going to get something done, we had to be honest about it so we knew if somebody else had to help out or do something for the other person. And I think one of the biggest things for me was being you have to show and lead by example. So I think I had to go ahead and double the amount of money that I was going to get fundraised just so people understood that we were serious about getting this done and actually fundraising for this fundraiser. So some of the things that we focused in on for cold call training and the role playing was to make sure that you are very confident and you kind of just continuously push through no matter what. If you start to lose the confidence, that's when it can fall apart and you can lose a deal or the donation very easily. I think through these trainings, though, we definitely had an increase in confidence with our callers. Everybody seems to kind of like learn a little bit more, and the practice of just cold calling in general definitely made people more willing to do it. And the biggest challenge in the beginning, 100%, is just the demotivating factor of getting denied on a cold call, getting told never mind, and getting told no. I think the role play that they did at the company in Morgantown was very, very beneficial, as you could do it in front of somebody who actually works there every single day, and they cold call and they deal with the different customers on a daily basis. So it was very cool to see that. Now, here are some challenges and then the different solutions that we tried to come up with in order to fix it. So I think a big challenge was motivating the people to actually come to these meetings and do these calls and go through all the different things. I think that was definitely hard. It's also hard to schedule times because everybody's very busy in college. We're all doing our own thing. We're all in trying to be independent adults. So we're all kind of busy, and a lot of people didn't really want to meet or figure times out to meet because of that. And I think the best way to do that was kind of just like trying to lead by example and fundraising when we could on our own. I think also sending out scripts of different like cold calling tips and things like that, and also kind of trying to hold them accountable when we could. It's definitely tricky because the reward benefit is a lot harder when it's not monetarily compensated for them, but I think it was really cool to fundraise for the thing that we were fundraising for, and I feel like that was a good enough motivation enough for our team. Now, the two tools that I would definitely say aided and helped the most throughout this were Zoom Info and ChatGPT. Now, Zoom Info was huge for finding prospects and finding people that were actually worthwhile to cold call, because a lot of the other ways you can find people, you end up getting rejected in a not so kind way at times. Of course, you will definitely see this on Zoom Info as well, but a lot of the time it's a lot easier to find information that can connect and make it so they would actually donate to you. Now, I also think ChatGPT was very, very helpful for things like call scripts and other ideas in general. I think coming up with different ideas of what you can state, ideas of what you can create, and kind of how you can word your words in order to create a sale was very important, very helpful with the utilization of ChatGPT. Yeah, so through this class, I strengthened my leadership and understanding of influencing others and how to positively influence them. I think before there's a lot of times where I thought that you had to be negative and say, you are not doing this, you're not doing that, when in reality that kind of does the opposite effect and makes people want to do less. I definitely think the best part was watching our donations improve, and over time, I think as the entire student body, we completely crushed the goal. I think most people did beat their quota, which was awesome to see. I think in the future there should be more structure in terms of the actual meetings with the students in the 321 class. It was definitely hard and difficult to get them to actually want to and get along and actually meet with me and Ethan. That definitely was a struggle. I think other resources could also be useful. Different things that would be able to make us connect to people that would be more inclined to actually answer the phone and pay for whatever type of fundraiser or thing that you do in the future. Any advice for people in the future with this class and just sales in general is to make sure that you stay as organized as possible with the information that you're getting. Make sure that you understand your prospects as best you can, especially when you're calling them. You don't want to go into the call and you have no idea anything about them, no background knowledge, because they immediately will start to distrust you. And overall, I think that you should just try to be as confident as you can in these situations, as confidence in showing that you know what is going on can go a long way.